Kitchen here in McDowell Mountain Ranch because they are open. They are doing takeout. They are doing some great stuff. So tell us about, you have a great concept with your restaurant because it is French paleo food, very high quality. Most everything is local, correct?
Correct. Yeah, the idea behind this restaurant was to create a place where a food of high quality, ingredients that the best you can find, ingredients that don't have any side effects, and maybe we can talk about a little bit later that many things that people eat that have significant side effects. But we wanted to open a place that combines the elegance and sophistication of French cuisine with sort of very mindful selection of ingredients that meant to nourish us, that meant to heal us, that meant to sort of make us better versions of ourselves. We look at food here as truly as medicine.
Right.
And we felt that combining healthy food with skillfully prepared and beautifully plated, nice presentation, that will attract people to eat better.
Right. Well, so you and I spoke the other day for over an hour for the first time because you are so passionate about it and I can so appreciate it. And we found out that your chef worked at Silverleaf where I worked. And so I know I've tasted her food and it's phenomenal. So it's a small world.
Indeed, it's a small world. Aurora's chef Aurora, who is, by the way, my wife, right? Yeah. It's our, we're both partners in this restaurant at Sapiens Kitchen. But Chef Aurora has been cooked all over the globe, truly, all over the planet, and spent many years in France. She has been a chef at Four Seasons Hotel in Chicago, and then we decided to move to Scottsdale, and
why wouldn't you?
We were fortunate to meet the team behind DC Ranch development, and kind of Silverleaf Country Club is there, certainly a beautiful gem.
Right.
So we've been fortunate to be around here and to get to know this community, and we truly fell in love with this community since then. Although the life took us in a different direction a little bit after that, we actually opened up a French restaurant in Surprise,
right,
all the way west, and it was built in one of the communities. At DC Ranch Development as well. It's called Marley Park. So right. We opened up a place that's called Vogue Bistro, and we had it for about 8 years, and we actually sold it 2 years ago to start this concept that would actually focus on not just great food, but also very a different level of awareness about how we feed our body, what we do to ourselves. It has to do a lot with our own personal experiences, our our health that required attention a couple of years ago, and how we successfully overcame several issues that the doctors recommended. A lot of medicine, and we just pretty much stopped taking medicine and learned about food, learned about what it does to us, learned about what some of those most essential, fundamental processes that happens. Surprisingly, it was actually a discovery on how most people sort of don't understand what food is. They forget that truly the purpose of eating is to satisfy our nutritional needs.
Right.
And I think most people sort of focus on the pleasure aspect of food, and we're not
It's very,
certainly denying that.
yes, the food still is very pleasurable, and your food is beautiful.
The food has to be, food is art and food is pleasure, all that. But I think, especially now, it's so important more than ever to understand, to go back and start looking at how our bodies work and why maybe many of us could find answers. Why do we have such a deadly pandemic around, and why so many people with what they call underlying conditions, right? There's this mysterious word, underlying conditions. Why so many of them, unfortunately, unable to fight the virus? And most nutritionists will tell you that the answer is fairly simple. Doesn't require a lot of medical tests. Nutritional deficiency. We're deficient in vital nutrients that help our bodies to produce defenses. Our immunity, of course, being number one, the first line of defense. If you look at a basic sort of a biology class, even in middle school, on what some of those T cells and natural killer cells are made out of, and what cofactors and processes required, you will understand that it's impossible to build immunity without zinc, without selenium, without sufficient vitamin C, minerals like magnesium and potassium, and of course vitamin B's, right? That responsible for rebuilding, restructuring, and impulses and things like that. Um, and all of those things, as it turn out, come from food.
Right.
We don't produce our vitamins ourselves. Our bodies don't. Well, bacteria that exist in our digestive system, in our intestines, bacteria does produce a lot of vitamins, but we mostly get them from high quality meats and vegetables, of course, lots of vegetables. This is our primary source of vitamins. Um, and paleo diet very conveniently sort of aligns all these goals. It just sort of brings it all together. Um, in paleo, we don't use any processed grains of any kind, not just gluten type grains, but any kind of grains. Um, we don't we don't use any dairy products. We don't use sugars. We don't use any beans, which is a legume family, right? Soy and peanuts are part of the family as well. Um, and we don't use any corn products. Some people don't know that corn is not a vegetable; it's a grain. It's a grain. Corn is a grain. Um, and lastly, no processed food and of any kind. No sort of food additives. Any kind of anything that designed to improve texture, taste, or longevity of the product, we don't use. Because all of those products, they have tendencies to induce inflammation. They're poorly digested, typically, or not digested at all, and in most cases require immune response. And it's believed that it's the immune response over a long period of time could lead to ultimately, autoimmune conditions. When we're constantly inflamed, and we're talking about low-grade inflammation.
Right.
This may lead to, to some conditions like that. If you excuse me for a second, looks like we have a customer.
Right. He's at the restaurant right now. So.
Hi, how are you? And it's a wonderful. You know what? We're having a live Facebook, a little bit of an interview here, and I just wanted to, thank this wonderful customer of ours who brought us some homemade mask.
Yes.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, she's bringing them to you?
So gorgeous. I mean, they're like fashion statement more.
I love it.
It's so nice of you to do so.
Don't even mention it. You are and putting your health on the line for people.
Well,
they just better remember this when we can come back and dine.
That is
This place
awesome.
is packed.
I hope so. You know, it's a great suggestion here to try to get together for everybody
Right,
once the ban is lifted,
right.
and have a good time, right?
I love that. She just
You
brought you
know,
masks that she made.
yes, yes,
I
we've
love it.
just had delivered amazing masks that are just handmade
Oh,
in community, and they're all different sizes. Please, yeah, Chef Roar's there.
oh,
You know,
I love
thank you
it.
so much. Um, it's great how people are so helpful, and it's amazing how many are just having such a great sense of community, and willing to help and willing to do something.
Yeah.
um, we do several things. Chef is actually working with the church, and she's bringing some meals for people that just can't really take care of themselves very well, older people, and because those are the vulnerable, and
They are,
they
and
don't
they
have
just need a
anybody
little
to
help.
help. I mean, of course, the business has been challenging.
For
We
sure.
certainly didn't plan on sort of having only takeout side of the business, but we trying to make the best of it.
You have
And
to,
our takeout is no different than our food on the table. It's prepared with that same attention and to detail, and certainly the same type of ingredients. And there's no compromise. Mostly organic vegetables. We use grass-fed meats, um, high quality seafood, wild caught
Mhm.
seafood, and we try to keep it. Whether it's on the table. Thank you once again.
Thank
Whether it's
you.
on the table or it's in the takeout container, it's that same quality.
Yeah.
We've been offering something very popular. We have the shared dinners when family of four could get a meal, be it a roasted duck or a grass-fed ribeye or even a paleo meatloaf is so popular, and it costs $49, but it feeds a family of four. I think it's a good proposition. Comes with lots of vegetables
I
of
think so
all
too.
kinds,
Right. So
above
people can
and
call, yeah,
below
so
ground,
people
and a
can
lot of
order off
leafy
the menu.
greens. And
Yeah, so people can call, they can order off the menu, or they can get the shared meals.
shared meal, exactly right. On our website, sapienskitchen.com, we have all of these options listed, full menu there, and our shared dinners. And something that we do also, it's called meal prep, which is a weekly plan. So for somebody who is busy and looking for sort of consistent, uninterrupted supply of quality nutrients for themselves and their family, they could get 7, 14 individually packed meals
Oh, wow.
delivered to them, which we do every Wednesday, and that could be certainly a solution for somebody who is busy, or somebody who travels and goes
Somebody that doesn't
different
want to
places.
go out and get the food.
Yes, yes, very functional. For people that uh, understand the challenge of properly nourishing your body, it's very difficult for them to go out and eat, because most places out there are simply, I mean, they're still yet to catch up on understanding that food is so important.
Very.
And many places, they would sell ingredients that I would call, less than ideal for us. They may create, tasty meals and some foods we so used to having, but unfortunately, for many people, that also could mean that they can't heal, and
Yeah.
their problems will continue to exist. Chronic issues. A huge concern about, of course, very high sugar in this country. A lot of people have pre-diabetes or diabetes. They already have that. Heart problems, digestive issues, and autoimmune conditions are so rampant, and they're so costly.
Mm.
They drive in the cost of the healthcare. They're the most expensive ones, and they're chronic, which means that people tend to deal with them for many, many years,
Right.
their entire life. And just in my, it's our first year. It's been our anniversary, a couple of months ago, and
happy anniversary. Here's your pandemic.
Yeah, well, pandemic is a certainly, like, for us, it's just it's a proof of what we've always told our customers. Um, Take care of your health, take care of your body, strengthen your defenses, and you don't have to run. Like, pandemic hit so suddenly, and people panicked. Well, if you do it on a regular basis, your body will never fail you. Your body will always be there to do what it does. We human beings are we're evolutionary. We're the winners of this evolutionary event, right? And we know how to survive. And all of this is in part that we've developed such amazing mechanism for survival. And something happened. Something happened, 50 years ago, when people started to eat not as well as our ancestors used to. We started to consume a lot of processed products, a lot of processed grain, genetically modified products that introduce a lot of toxins in our digestive systems. We've also started to consume low quality dairy products. And few people know that dairy products have a lot of sugars, a lot of growth hormones, a lot of proteins that we don't do very well. We can't break them down. And of course, sugar. Sugar is another one that probably responsible for so many troubles. So by eliminating those things, that's the least you can do to protect yourself. To
be able to go to a place like your restaurant and have it all done for you is such a benefit. Because finding all the things that you need at that quality can be challenging. So to be able to come to a restaurant like yours and have it all done and know that it is the highest quality, and then be able right now to still get it, to be able to come in and order it to go, or to have it packaged and delivered to your house, it's huge.
Exactly. We're trying to sort of be a functional organization, and we're trying to offer people many ways to stay on track, not to give in, into just eating mindlessly. Every time we do it, we sort of reset our health back to zero.
Yeah, that's all you see everybody talking about right now, is that they just keep going to the refrigerator, going to the pantry, and they're like, "I'm not hungry, I'm just bored."
Yes, well, I guess there's several factors for that, right? We're talking about craving. Cravings is specifically sugar cravings is it's like drug addictions. It's no secret right now. They've even scientifically identified that it's the same receptor that sort of participates in both of those. So, sugar is should be probably treated in many ways as an addiction, right? And it's a psychological as much as it is physical addiction. But there's explanation for many of those processes that happens. For example, I've read a study where there's a sort of a pretty interesting theory that sugar cravings in many of us, if not most of us, is identify some nutritional deficiencies like potassium, right? So so sometimes we craving something earthy. That might be iron, for example, right? You may need to boost your presence of high quality iron. But potassium is it's a very common mineral, but it's also one of the there's deficiency in potassium is very common as well. We need about 4,700 milligrams of that per day, and to get there, we need to consume significant amount of vegetables, right? Vegetables and organic, and then some meats as well, to get there to be able to. And see, having fat. Fat is something that many of us grew up thinking that it's bad, and we intentionally choose products that come with that low fat factor. But as it turned out, fat is not bad. Fat is essential for our healthy everything. Our brain cells made out of fat. Our hormones made out of fat. Fat is absolutely essential. By the way, that popularity of that ketogenic diet is also based on that idea that consuming high amount of dietary fat will also lead to sort of renewal of your digestive system will function so much better. Your energy level will remain consistent. You will heal. You will you will be able to reduce sensitivity. Your sensitivity to insulin will be restored. For those of us who has high blood sugar, that's a very, very important. So you could address so many medical issues by consuming high quality dietary fat. Um, it's a clean energy. It's a clean burning energy. Um, so essentially, we need to retrain our body to rely on fat rather than relying on processed carbs, sugars and glucose and things like that. Um, so we advocate at least as part of the paleo diet, we also advocate to certainly increase your consumptions of high quality fats. And what are those high quality fats? Typically known as monounsaturated type fats, like, for example, olive oil or avocado oil. Coconut oil is also part of that group of healthier fats and oils. There's even a product that's called MCT, which is a sort of a medium chain a fatty acid product that also very, very good. It's easily digestible. It's a clean energy, and it's a good way to sort of have that calorie. Fat is more efficient than carbs. Has twice as much calories per gram per molecule. So you don't need to consume a lot of fat to be able to feel satisfied, to feel not feel hungry. Many things happens once you start eating properly. You're also going to improve your sort of hormonal functioning. Maybe even you could say hormonal signaling, right? Like, for example, a hormone that's very important here is leptin. That essentially, it's the hormone that regulates our hunger and our satiety. So, how do we know how much should we eat, right? Can you have a plate or two plates, and ultimately something internally tells us that it's enough. And this is typically the function of this hormone, leptin. Some foods, some processed grains or even like soybeans, some dairy products, they affect that signaling in the way that they inhibit its function. So we, as a result, tend to overeat. So we are hungry faster than we should be, but we also overeating on a regular basis. And so that's a kind of a double whammy. Of both of those things are bad. The same ingredients also inducing cravings, sugar cravings. 1 hour after your meal, 2 hours after your meal, you're already craving sugar, reaching out for a can of Pepsi or for some kind of sugary snack, cookies and things like that. It's not easy to sort of stop craving. It's just like any addiction, you have to, of course, buy into it. You have to understand. It has to be a sophisticated effort. You have to understand what's behind it.
To recognize it.
You have to be able to. Yeah, honesty is something that important in this process.
You gotta recognize it so then you can stop the behavior. Because like you and I talked about the other day, when you're making these kinds of choices, right? It's a lifestyle choice. It's not. The diet word to me is not personally. It's not the right word. If you want to do some of these
Yeah.
things, you've got to change your whole lifestyle. So you've got to slow down and recognize all those things that come into your head as they come into them and stop yourself if it's not the right choice.
Correct. It's diet is. I don't like the word diet because it sort of implies that it's something that's short-lived
Mm.
and something that's temporary and something that people would typically use diets to lose weight real quick
Yeah.
for something important for wedding coming up, not fitting into that dress. Yeah, I have to lose weight, so I'm just gonna stop eating. Um,
Which is
or
not healthy.
I'm gonna eliminate. People eliminating the entire class. Like I'm not gonna eat any carbs at all.
You
Okay, if the will is there, it's possible to do. Sure, you could live a few days without carbs at all. But once you achieve your objective, people typically get to the point where um, they can't function. It affects their basic activities to the level to where they will eventually go back. And typically when they go back, it's gonna be worse than ever. Like they're gonna eat probably more. Typically they gain weight back, and if that was the objective. But diets are not good. Lifestyle, I like that. Lifestyle is a great way to describe. At least I'd like to describe paleo as a lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
because once you've committed to it and once you've seen the results, I mean it's addictive on its own to have that level of energy, to be able to sleep well, to be able to feel great. And this is something you don't need. The doctor doesn't have to do a test. You know what it's like. Uh, um, Something that's great about specifically paleo is paleo does not restrict how much should you eat. Um, it leaves it to your. It's a function of your leptin, and if you eat correctly, um, you will not overeat. You will. It's just like I've seen myself. Um, just the plates that I've been having before, I could easily go for gigantic bowl of pasta before 2 years ago. I could have a huge 24-ounce piece of ribeye, easily. It wasn't. It was just a regular regular thing to do. Right now, I wouldn't even eat half of this,
Yeah.
and I feel satisfied. I feel complete. I don't feel heavy. I just feel great.
Right.
It's a different feeling. Um, Many people describe, you know, uh, after having their dinner, how heavy and how just they can't they're falling asleep. I mean,
Yeah.
their energy levels are so, um, and that is because your body is getting calories, but not nutrients that it desperately needs. And calories, we don't have any problem with those. Calories, we eat plenty of those. But typically, typical meal, once you look at the nutritional content, then you'd say, wow, there's nothing here. You're gonna have a bowl of pasta with that let's just say Alfredo, right, with some heavy cream and nutritionally speaking, um, not much.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that, but not much at all. Really close to probably none. A lot of sodium, a
Yeah.
lot of sugar that's coming from dairy, um, all sorts of hormones that's come with it, and from the processed grain that goes into pasta making, plus all of those food additives that introduced into modern pasta making processes. It's a there's some dark side to that. Like any process industry, of course, it
Right.
has a lot of additives. Some are disclosed and some are not.
Yeah.
But the fact is remaining that we having a bowl of pasta and we're walking away, and our body needs magnesium, it needs vitamin B, it needs vitamin A. Um, how is it going to compensate? It's going to take those things from other body parts, from other organs, from other vital processes, um, and it's going to try to adapt. And all of that will come at the expense of your well-being.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it. It's going to come at the expense of your well-being.
Yeah.
And this is ultimately what paleo introduces here is an attempt to apply scientific information scientific research, about, what is well-being, what's optimal nutrition. Um, also, there's also this philosophical background to paleo movement, as if, evolutionary biology. At least some answers probably lie in our past. We've been evolving for 2 million years, and we've evolved a certain way. We've been consuming food. Has been the metabolism. Food has been the process of that evolution. It's made us who we are. It made us smarter. It made us more competitive, right? And so we need to look back and say, well, what is it that we designed to eat? Just because it could be produced inexpensively and it has a pleasant, sweet texture or taste, it certainly doesn't mean that that ingredient should be consumed. We just gotten so smart for ourselves, but the sort of a skyrocketing healthcare costs demonstrate that otherwise. Healthcare costs something like $3 trillion to treat chronic diseases in this country last year. $3 trillion, absolutely astronomical number, right? And these are the kind of diseases that food related. Like diabetes. We're going to have about maybe 45 million people with diabetes in this country this year. Diabetes kills far more people than coronavirus ever did combined. Although we sort of accepted that it's part of life, but why is that? Why is it like that? Why do we have to accept that a dietary choice is going to result in a fatality, and it's okay? It doesn't make sense, right? How is it possible? 1,700 people dying a day from heart problems per day. 1,700 people in this country. So think about that number, right? And again, just level of acceptance is incredible. People will say, "Oh, it's stress," and well, of course, stress has something to do with it, but stress is not primary reason why people have hard, brittle arteries clogged up with cholesterol. That's not stress.
Right.
That's food.
And this is why, for me personally, I'm grateful for places like you that are open, that are serving, high quality food, things like that. And so for that, I say thank you. And I'm so glad that you guys are open right now and being able to provide people with takeout and the delivery service for weekly meals. That's huge, 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 huge. And you guys are doing something for Easter, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we have a lovely Easter takeout, a Colorado natural pasture-raised leg of lamb. We're having a beautiful roasted duck. We have a seafood. It's called seafood duo with scallops and shrimp, and yummy sides that chef is making. You could find it on sapienskitchen.com. We've posted complete menu for Easter takeout. We just need 24 hours for to give us a little advance notice,
Sure.
so we can prepare this for you. We can do dinner for two, for larger groups, and we'll package it up and we'll have it available for you on Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
And you can feed you. The kind of products that we source, you cannot even buy. Be honest with you. Some of them we get from the market, from the farmers market, and some of it coming from a Riba Farm. Our friends at Riba Farm in Santan Village. Actually, I think it's Higley. It's the area where they at. It's by Queen Creek over there, and beautiful farm. And so they supply wonderful. Right now, season for a lot of the crucifers, all of that Brussels sprout, and all your cabbage and broccolini and all sorts of cool radishes coming out. So all of that is going to be part of the meal, and
So
it's going to be fantastic. I don't know who else does something like that.
Not to this level, honestly. Yeah. So people can call you and they can order takeout.
Yes, they can.
7 days a week?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
People can call and order takeout. You guys are going to be doing this 7 days a week?
Yeah, takeout. Well, takeout is Tuesday through Saturday,
Okay.
our regular menu. So
And
5 days a week, and well, Easter is going to be an exception because we open on Sunday, on April 12th. We open on Sunday, so the pickups could be between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. is when we asking people to pick up their meals. We can arrange for delivery as well. We could let us know how we can accommodate you.
So, and you
But
guys have McDowell Mountain Ranch, so I would just say you probably can do deliveries as long as it's not too far away, right?
yeah, within a reasonable driving distance,
Right.
yeah, we'll take care of that as well. So you could lift your spirits and celebrate. And even if you don't celebrate Easter, it's another day on the planet, and it's still worth celebrating. So
Any day is worth having phenomenal food.
right, exactly. Of course, helping support local independent restaurant.
100%.
It's important to have, like, we're trying to support everybody around here, even if it's little. Chef went to local place, get the manicure done or something here. It's just the idea is to try to support everybody in your community,
Right.
because that's what, if you want thriving, wonderful, safe place, I think businesses, great businesses, certainly
Right.
introduce that element of, you'll be proud to bring people into your community.
So you guys are open Tuesday through Saturday. They can order
Yes.
your regular menu. They can do the family style.
hmm
Go to your website, Sapiens Kitchen. I'll put it in the notes below so that if anybody wants to see it, they'll have it there. And I just want to say thank you so much for being open and helping, and everybody go support your local businesses. Sapiens Kitchen, it's a great place, and I'm glad you're in my neighborhood.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to introduce myself and Sapiens Paleo Kitchen. Um, and if anybody has any questions, they could certainly call us or email us directly, and anything we can do, even if it might be an advice on dietary choices, or maybe some nutrition, some questions on nutrition, and on general health, how to improve health, what to how where to begin. We can answer those questions. We have such great experience, and we have so many customers that are very successful at maintaining that optimal nutritional lifestyle. So we could offer a wealth of information at no charge.
Oh yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying. I see something else in your future. You are so passionate about this, and I love that.
we have to be. We have to be. Without, it's a tough business. You
Yeah.
have to love it. Yeah, exactly. So, and I could say it so many times every day, and I don't get tired, because we live it. Our families, live it. You can only imagine how, my friends right now have such level of nutritional awareness that they could probably challenge any doctor. So it's because I feel like it's my mission to keep him going, and so far it's been working out great.
That's
So
good.
far it's been
That's good.
all right. So thank you very much, everybody. Please stay safe. Um, Take care of yourself. Take care of your body and your loved ones. And you know, um, when you get hungry, give us a holler.
Right. Thank you so much. Have a great
My,
day.
my pleasure. All of you. To all of you. Thank you so much.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you so much. Bye bye.